Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing well. Today's lesson is about negative angles. So I told you guys that we measure theta anti-clockwise from the positive x-axis, right? Meaning we go from here all the way to there, and sometimes we go on and on and on and on. Today we'll learn about negative angles, where we'll go clockwise from the positive x-axis. We do the opposite, meaning we go from here all the way to there. Sometimes we go on and on and on. So in this video, I'll update our case diagram and do a few exam questions. So let's start by updating our case diagram. You know that when sketching this, you have 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and 360 degrees. Our case diagram has CAST, which stands for cos, all, sine, and tan. Our case diagram is also divided into 4 quadrants. We have quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. You only have 4 quadrants. Now let's fill in our reductions. Our reductions, we have 180 degrees minus theta. We also have 180 degrees plus theta. We also have 360 degrees minus theta. And we also have our cofunctions, which we learned in the previous lesson, which is 90 degrees minus theta and 90 degrees plus theta. Now let's update our case diagram with our negative angle. So our negative angle would be in the 4th quadrant. Just draw a little arrow and write negative theta. We also have positive theta. So in the 1st quadrant, just draw a little arrow and write theta. Okay, so I want you guys to know that when dealing with negative angles, only theta is positive. Now, what do I mean by this? Negative theta is in the 4th quadrant where cos is positive. Okay, so when dealing with negative angles, if you have negative theta, sine would be negative as it's not in the 4th quadrant. And when dealing with tan, negative theta, tan would be negative as in the 4th quadrant we have cos. Now let's do a few examples so that you understand what I mean. Example 1, cos negative theta. Okay, so we do the same thing that we did with reductions and cofunctions. The difference is that we have something different in our bracket. We have negative theta. Look for it on the case diagram. There's negative theta. It's in the 4th quadrant where cos is positive. Okay, so your answer should be cos theta. Now let's do the second example. Let's do sine negative theta. Okay, negative theta, let's look for it on our case diagram. There's negative theta. It's in the 4th quadrant where sine is negative. So your answer should be negative sine theta. Let's do the last example, tan negative theta. Negative theta, let's look for it on our case diagram. There's negative theta. It's in the 4th quadrant where tan is negative. So your answer should be negative tan theta. And that is how you work with negative angles in trigonometry. Now let's do your exam questions. Number 1, we have a fraction, and I told you guys that when you get such a problem, the first thing that you should do is to identify your trig technique, whether it's a cofunction, reduction, or negative angle. So cos negative theta, this is a negative angle. Let's just write neg. 180 degrees plus theta, this is a reduction. Tan 360 degrees minus theta, this is also a reduction. Cos 90 degrees minus theta, this is a cofunction. Let's just write cof. In the denominator, we have 180 degrees minus theta. This is a reduction. Sine negative theta, this is a negative angle. Tan 180 degrees plus theta, this is a reduction. And sine 90 degrees plus theta, this is a cofunction. Now let's apply our trig techniques. We have cos negative theta. This is a negative angle. Negative theta, let's look for it on the case diagram. There's negative theta. It's in the 4th quadrant where cos is positive. So your answer should be cos theta. times sine 180 degrees plus theta. Let's look for 180 degrees plus theta. In our case diagram, there's 180 degrees plus theta. It's in the third quadrant where sine is negative, so your answer should be negative sine theta. Remember to put it in a bracket. Multiplied by 10, 360 degrees minus theta. 360 degrees minus theta, let's look for it. That's 360 degrees minus theta. It's in the fourth quadrant where 10 is negative, so your answer should be negative 10 theta. Put it in a bracket, negative 10 theta times cos 90 degrees minus theta. This is a cofunction. Let's look for 90 degrees minus theta. In a case diagram, there's 90 degrees minus theta. It's in the first quadrant where cos is positive, so your answer should be sine theta as you swap between sine and cos. Let's go to the denominator. We have cos 180 degrees minus theta. Let's look for 180 degrees minus theta. That's 180 degrees minus theta. It's in the second quadrant where cos is negative, so your answer should be negative cos theta. Multiplied by sine negative theta. Negative theta, let's look for it on a case diagram. There's negative theta. It's in the fourth quadrant where sine is negative, so your answer should be negative sine theta times 180 degrees plus theta. Let's look for 180 degrees plus theta on a case diagram. There's 180 degrees plus theta. It's in the fourth quadrant where 10 is positive, so your answer should be 10 theta. Multiplied by sine 90 degrees plus theta. Let's look for 90 degrees plus theta. In a case diagram, there's 90 degrees plus theta. It's in the second quadrant where sine is positive, so your answer should be cos theta, because you swap. Now, what's the following step? The next step would be to multiply your signs. We have a positive times negative, which is negative. Negative times negative is positive. Positive times positive is positive. So your entire numerator is positive. We can rewrite this as cos theta multiplied by sine theta multiplied by 10 theta multiplied by sine theta. All over, we have a negative multiplied by a negative, which is positive. Positive times positive, which is positive. Positive times positive, it's positive. So your entire denominator, rewrite this as positive cos theta times sine theta multiplied by 10 theta multiplied by cos theta. Now what's the next step? We have to multiply our trig ratios. We have cos theta. Do you have another cos theta in our denominator? We have cos, sine, 10, sine. We have no cos theta, so we can just write this as cos theta multiplied by sine theta. Do you have another sine theta? We have sine theta, 10 theta, sine theta. Yes, we have two like terms. So we write this as sine squared theta. And what are we left with? 10 theta. All over, we have cos theta. Do you have another cos theta? Cos and cos. So this becomes, cos squared theta. Cos squared theta multiplied by, we have sine theta multiplied by 10 theta. So we can just rewrite this as sine theta. What are you left with? 10 theta. We multiplied all our trig ratios. Now it's time to cancel. We have cos theta. Do you have cos theta in the denominator? Yes, you have cos squared theta. So this cancels with that. Then you have sine squared theta. Do you have another sine theta in the denominator? You have sine squared theta and sine theta. These cancel each other out. Then you have 10 theta and 10 theta. We cancel all the 10 thetas. What are you left with? Here in the numerator, we have sine theta because we took out 1, right? So this should be sine theta over. We have cos theta as we cancelled 1. So your final answer should be sine theta multiplied by cos theta. Now let's do the last example. Before I continue, I'd like to let you know that this video was brought to you by Spotify. Spotify is a music streaming app that gives you access to over 100 million songs. You can stream your favorite artists for free, or you can get the premium version and have access to features like downloading music and streaming offline. For more information, go to open.spotify.com. Link in the description. Number 3, we have a fraction. What's the first step? Identify your trigonometric technique. 180 degrees minus theta, this is a reduction. RED. Cos 360 degrees minus theta, this is also a reduction. Tan negative theta, this is a negative angle. Sin 90 degrees plus theta, this is a cofunction. Let's go to the denominator. Sin negative theta, this is a negative angle. 180 degrees plus theta, this is a reduction. Tan 360 degrees minus theta, this is a reduction. And cos 90 degrees minus theta, this is a cofunction. Now let's apply all our trig techniques. 180 degrees minus theta, let's look for it on the cast diagram. There's 180 degrees minus theta. It's in the second quadrant where sine is positive, so your answer should be sine theta. Times cos 360 degrees minus theta, let's look for it on a cast diagram. There's 360 degrees minus theta. It's in the fourth quadrant where cos is positive, so your answer should be cos theta. Times tan negative theta, it's a negative angle. Let's look for negative theta on a cast diagram. There's negative theta. It's in the fourth quadrant where tan is negative, so this should be minus tan theta in a bracket. Multiplied by sine 90 degrees plus theta. Let's look for 90 degrees plus theta on a cast diagram. There's 90 degrees plus theta. It's in the second quadrant where sine is positive, so your answer should be cos theta, as it's a cofunction. Now let's go to the denominator. We have sine negative theta. Let's look for negative theta on a cast diagram. There's negative theta. It's in the fourth quadrant where sine is negative, so your answer should be negative sine theta. Times cos 180 degrees plus theta. Let's look for 180 degrees plus theta on a cast diagram. There's 180 degrees plus theta. It's in the third quadrant where cos is negative, so your answer should be minus cos theta. Multiplied by tan 360 degrees minus theta. Let's look for 360 minus. There's 360 degrees minus theta. It's in the fourth quadrant where tan is negative, so your answer should be negative tan theta. And lastly, we have cos 90 degrees minus theta. Let's look for it on a cast diagram. There's 90 degrees minus theta. It's in the first quadrant where cos is positive, so your answer should be sine theta. Now let's multiply the signs. We have a positive times positive, which is positive. Positive times negative, which is negative. Negative times positive, which is negative. So your entire numerator, rewrite it as a negative. Negative sine theta multiplied by cos theta multiplied by tan theta times cos theta. Let's go to the denominator. We have a negative times negative, which is positive. Positive times negative, which is negative. Negative times positive, which is negative. So your entire denominator should be negative. This becomes negative sine theta multiplied by cos theta multiplied by tan theta multiplied by sine theta. Now it's time to look for your like terms. We have negative sine theta. Do you have another sine theta? You have sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cos theta. No. So you can write this as negative sine theta times cos theta. Do you have another cos theta? Cos, tan, cos. Yes, there is your cos. So cos theta times cos theta is cos squared theta times, we are left with tan theta all over sine theta. Do you have another sine theta? Sine, cos, tan, sine. Yes, there's your sine theta. So rewrite this as negative sine squared theta multiplied by, we have cos theta. Do you have another cos theta? Cos theta, tan theta, sine. No. So write this as cos theta times cos theta multiplied by, we are left with tan theta. Now let's cancel. We have a negative times negative. Those cancel each other out. Then we have sine theta divided by sine theta Cos squared theta, do you have another cos theta? Yes, there's a cos theta. Then 10 and 10, those cancel each other out. What are you left with? Your answer should be, in the numerator we have cos theta, because we took out 1 over sine theta.